Do you want to import an Excel file into an SQL Server database? I'll show you how to easily do that in this video. Here is the Excel file we're importing. We have a few columns with a mix of text, numbers, and dates. Let's load this into SQL Server. I'll demonstrate this in SSMS as it's a popular editor. Under your connection, expand the database's entry. Right-click on the database you want to import the data into, select Tasks, and then Import Data. This window will appear. You can click Next. On this screen, you can choose a data source. It defaults to a .NET Framework option, so we'll need to change this to Microsoft Excel. Now click on Browse, and locate the file that you want to import. I'll find that new customer's spreadsheet file that I showed before, then click Open. I get an error here which says the file is in use. This is because I have the Excel file open, so I'll have to close this file first. Back in SSMS, I can click OK and then click Open again. This time it works. The Excel file path field is populated with the directory path and file name that we just selected. For the Excel version, it automatically selects version 2007 to 2010, which is OK for us. If your file has column names in the first row, like my file does, leave this box checked. Click Next. You'll see the destination screen. In the drop-down, select SQL Server Native Client, which is probably at the bottom. You'll see inputs for the server name, authentication method, and database. The server name and database defaults to the connection and the database we already selected, so I don't need to change that. I'm also using Windows authentication, so I can leave that selected. Click Next. On the next screen, you can either copy data from the source or use a script. The terminology is a bit generic as it caters for all kinds of data sources, but for our spreadsheet, we can just leave the first option selected. So click Next. We can then see the Select Source Tables and Views screen. This will show a list of all worksheets that we have in the file and the tables that this process will import the data into. The target table here has defaulted to the sheet name, which is Sheet 1. I'd like to change that, so we can do that here. I'll change it to New Customers. There's a button here called Edit Mappings. You can click this and see the columns that will be imported, as well as the data types that will be used in the new table. This is helpful to verify that all of the columns are loaded and the data types are correct. It's good to see here that the date value will be inserted into a date-time column and not a string. Once you've seen this and made any changes, click OK. Then I can click Next. On the Save and Run Package screen, leave the Run Immediately checked. We don't need an SSIS package, so we can leave this unchecked. Click Next. Finally, click Finish. The import process will start, and different steps will start showing green ticks. My file is small, so it took a few seconds. I also see the number of rows that we imported here as well. If you get any errors, you can go back to an earlier step in this import process to adjust the settings, such as the table data type or names, or look into the spreadsheet data. For me, I'll click Close. The table has been created and the data type has been imported. Let's check it. We can expand the database in the Object Explorer on the left, then Tables. We should see it in the list here, but if we don't, we can click Refresh. Our new table is here called New Customers. Let's write a query to get the data from this table. I'll write a quick select star query on this table and I'll make sure that this drop-down has the right database selected. Click Execute. I can see the results here, which are the same values from the spreadsheet. The date values look valid and correct. The import process has successfully determined that this was a date column. Sometimes this may not work correctly, and it may be stored as a text value, but this time it has worked. We can check the data types by expanding the table in the Object Explorer, then Columns. We can see the data types here. There are a couple of nvarchar columns, a float, and a date time. If we want to use different data types, we can alter them using SQL. We've been able to import data from an Excel spreadsheet into our database. You'll want to watch this video next to learn how to export data from an SQL Server database directly into an Excel file. Thanks for watching.